and we're back with round 2. Let me get that updated. And we have got our obligatory Sammy Nash matchup. Sammy Nash versus Dan Harbon. Full colour wall. This is Ice Lightning.
Sammy comes back and he's immediately on stream.
I mean, he's lucky I didn't have him on round 1. It's only because it was my choice, but...
Well, yeah, that is true. Otherwise, would you have put him on?
Probably not, to be honest, because we had an absolute corker for the first round.
Yeah, it was a very, very good game to watch.
And guys, don't forget to give us a share, like and subscribe, because we are so close to 500, and then we would love to go beyond that.
Curious to see what kind of 4-colour Sammy is playing here, because there's quite a few options available at the moment.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's like just a generic 4-colour, or if it's something like a Bat's Wall, but...
Preston Dan going first straight into President Cymru, great backup. That's probably going to grab the Sisney back up here to colour fix yourself.
Oh, yeah, exactly that. Might as well get it done, get those freeze counters on. Free. Thank you for letting us know, but it sounds like our stream mic is gone again.
See if hopefully that potentially is any better there.
Yeah.
Get straight into the Sisney. Pitching Sid Randell for it though. That's a bit of a bold one, but I suppose 4-colour can live or die a lot off of its backups.
Not looking good on the tech side of things today, guys. I do apologise.
I can hear it now. The fuzziness seems to have gone again.
Oh.
But it was pretty bad when I could hear it.
Well, I mean, it's not that we're doing anything to fix that. That's for damn sure.
Yes.
So, anyway.
Not sure what's causing that. We'll have to wait and see. So Claris here. So he is playing the King backup line into Edgar. So either Edgar will come in now, I imagine, or next turn, attempting to probably bring in a Lena or a Butt, because you can hit both of those targets.
And we can assume no bats in this list, probably going forward, I would guess, but... Oh, we're just going straight at it.
Playing it into
Porum. He did mention this.
Not something you see in a 4-colour deck at the moment anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately, unless it's... Sammy doesn't play anything that's just 1 colour. You gotta know.
It has to be 4. Yeah. He regrettably had to give up Soiree for what was the replacement.
Yeah. I mean, Soiree's still doing good. Liam Jones rocking that to a couple top cuts now, so... You know.
So, what's Dan got in hand here? Is that
a
Rampy? No, so X-Def. I do like that remedy.
Yeah, that's Sephiroth, though.
Back attacking Sephiroth, yeah, but you need the Porum to swing.
Yeah, no.
So passing on there, trying to see if that can happen.
Yeah, I suppose you could just remove it playing the Cloud, but I don't see why you'd have to when you just back attack in the
you're
Sephiroth.
Paying 4 either way, and the Sephiroth's at least grabbing you an advantage every turn.
Yeah.
So here comes the swing. So yep, comes the immediate
boom, there it is.
Break there. Does Sammy have an Ami in hand is potentially the answer here?
Well...
he's got fire CP up, but at the moment we can't really see. You'd still take the block anyway though, right? Unless he's got a way of killing it.
Well, the Ami would... Yeah,
would
the
kill
Ami would kill it, so...
Yeah.
But now the problem is that you've got that attack trigger at your disposal.
He's making you discard, so Sammy sat here, potentially.
Yeah.
Gonna have to discard every turn for a little while.
I generally think if you're Dan here, you've kind of got to race Sammy on backup, so playing the Arcanist isn't too bad.
No, I think you either go Remedy here to force some discards every time you search, or just go into the Arcanist, as you say. But going into the Remedy here, so anytime Sammy searches, he will end up having to discard a card as well. I really like this Remedy.
So here's one for you. Does it mandatory discard as long as it goes on the stack, or is it just if you search?
As long as they've triggered the search, it has to. So they actually have to search for 1 or more cards.
Sure.
So I think if you fail to find or something like that, it won't trigger. But it does get you a Sid Randell as well, which obviously...
Hitting the first of, I'm sure, many experts, the 6-drop Leviathan. Sammy clearly never punished.
Immediately bouncing back to hand. So that is a nice combo there, because the Sephiroth meant that he was always getting the Remedy trigger that turn.
Yeah.
So still with 4 in hand. Irvine's there as well as a way of stripping out that break zone, which can always be pretty useful.
Yeah, but
I think you do just still go into the Arcanist here. Remedy's done her job of getting used to Randell.
Yeah, absolutely. It would have been nice if they could have kept her around, but...
To see what Sammy can do here. So that's the the Bart stack's always got the advantage against the Remedy because you can always, if you're searching for more Barts, you can always stack on in response to the Remedy trigger. But in a standard 4-colour list where you've got all of these backups that search other backups, it can be really rough.
Yeah, exactly that. And Sammy getting real lucky with that Leviathan because in theory, if he does go searching with like King Tycoon first of all, that's one gone. Then you gotta play your Lena, which granted doesn't search, but you've got other things that. I'm guessing it would trigger off of the X's as well, right?
It's still a search, yeah.
Yeah. Oof. Wow.
Ooh, the demon. So
Okay.
breakdown removal isn't going to clear here, and you're also playing Ice Lightning. So I think you just pure kill the Sephiroth here. You don't need to remove the break zone as much. But that's again Sammy burning a lot of cards in hand for this.
Yeah,
Let's
he
see
is.
what Dan wants to do here. So he has just drew Physalis. Really good
That could
namesake card in Ice. Dull
Yeah.
and Freeze the demon means it's not going to get its attack triggers pretty much
ever
again,
Yeah.
as long as you can keep a Dull and Freeze effect on the field. He's also got Nero in the back, so you can play Nero into Vice this turn for some more Dull and Freeze and some pressure on the board.
Taylor saying he thinks that the demon is a bit too soon. The thing is, because it gets the attack trigger as well, I think you can be all right with it.
I think Sammy's also pretty worried about if there's more discard effects to come in. If Dan played Rufus with Sephiroth still on field, discarding 2 every turn can set you back way too far, I think, at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the thing is, though, is that Sammy's now just left with 1 card in hand, and it's only a 9k.
So we're not going with the Physalis. I think we're going to go with the Vice Nero instead. So you will still get a Dull and Freeze and the discard trigger from
I'm not
Vice if it gets played.
sure if you want to. Like, I think you're okay to probably take a damage here, though. I don't think you want to bin out what's in hand.
I think I would have gone with the Physalis, just to
Right.
tap the 3, pitch 1, and Dull and Freeze out the demon.
Yeah, exactly. That way, then you can keep getting the attack triggers going forward as well. So yeah,
So no, just playing the backup and passing. So Vice is ready in hand next turn.
I don't hate this, to be honest.
Oh, just using the Cisne to
yeah.
Dull and Freeze instead.
Okay, Cisne loses her counter. No more demon for you, Dan is saying. Now,
So I think, yes, Sammy could have toted instead of the demon, and obviously it builds your backups. But I don't know if he's got one in hand. I haven't seen him holding it, so I'm not sure if you have. Or did he bin it for the demon? Might have been the other thing, considering it's at the top of his break zone.
yeah, exactly that.
So that might have potentially been the better play. But I suppose the demon does push aggro into you every turn, A from damage and B from break zone removal.
Yeah, and Abby Sire in chat there saying that is it not just better to potentially have just played the Toto instead of the demon? That way, at least you've got a backup. I kind of agree with you,
Yeah, I think that probably might have been the way to go.
but I'm not sure what. I mean, it's hard to always think what Sammy Nash is doing. Oof. I mean, you're going to discard anyway, so let's just discard that way instead.
He will still have to discard there, though.
Yes, he will. Well, no, yeah, because it's off the backup, right?
Yes, the Nero triggers the discard, the Vice does the Dull and Freeze.
Sammy, you still got discard. You am at the Vice. You got from the backup. So yeah, Dan happy looking going back there, but yeah, it's the backup is what does the discard, not the forward. The forward will do the Dull Freeze. Yeah, so we're. Woof. Okay. So corrected all actions there. We are just getting rid of the Vice's Dull Freeze. Although I don't think that works actually, because I think Jack's just caught that because Jack is at the table as well. So basically, he's trying to get rid of the Dull Freeze trigger, but yes, he hasn't discarded, so therefore the Dull Freeze trigger doesn't go on.
We're just fine tuning there. He can't Ami until he discards, but what he did there was pitch all of his cards, including play the Ami. So because there was no discard trigger, you couldn't Ami the Vice here. But I think they had a way of sorting it out.
Sure, we'll go with that, hopefully. We'll leave it in their trusted hands. In the meantime, Dan now... I think Sid Randell here is fine. Oh, Rufus, though. There comes the Rufus.
But yes, I ran back, so I missed the rest of what they did. So I think they figured it out. I explained to them what basically needed to, happen.
I mean, I'm not sure either because it still ended up kind of the same with the forward going away on Dan's side. So I'm not sure if that still works. Unless Sammy did discard from that, then Ami, then break and play his last
I
thing.
don't think he had enough in hand because he was down to 3.
And then I think we've also got something that doesn't work there. Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure the forward should still be alive.
I'll catch up with them shortly.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm kind of in agreement there with Xeno Fantasy myself. He's also saying that this doesn't quite work.
Yeah,
I think they've kind of gone and bamboozled us a bit too far now. So apologies for that.
Well, evening for us, RB Sire, but good morning to you, sir.
I mean, he's calling us Cactuars. I hope that's a spelling mistake, because otherwise we're gonna have a bit of a problem.
That is true. So Alcid here into... Oh, this could be nasty.
I hate this Laswell. It's so good.
So this is which one's the fire one? Palom or Porum? It's Porum, right?
Your guess is as good as mine.
So yeah, Dullen freezing out the board, making you discard on the Rufus swing.
Yeah. Oh, and hitting us down as well. Like,
could be in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, because if that Laswell gets on the attack, I mean, you're going to be discarding every turn as well. Sammy down to 1 backup.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that hand getting binned out, I think, really is going to hurt him in the long run. So
yeah, I think maybe the Ami trigger wasn't worth it there. You just take the losing 1 card and play out your next turn.
Yeah, exactly that. Because then you could have just played like the...
Well, he lost a backup to play the Porum and played 2 for the Ami there, so it's his whole hand gone and a backup.
That's it, because then next turn you could have just played the Porum on curve and still be sat with the...
It was a type.
Bestby as well. Because there ain't no cucks around here, except maybe Jack.
What the hell? That's just rude.
Oh, okay, so we're going back to the old school...
But I'm not sure this does enough here, right?
No,
because...
It just gets dull frozen, right? It doesn't...
I mean, it does stop the Fiend being a dull froze, so you can swing back with that next
but
turn.
don't forget, we've still got the Physalis.
Is that still in?
Yeah, it's
still in hand. Yeah, so
you just play that and
Sammy's empty-handed, so you're getting a dull and freeze and a draw.
Yep, and here it comes.
In comes the Physalis. So yeah, I think that's a dull and freeze on the Galuf and a draw card. Oh, you get doubled freeze, yeah, because Alcid's already on field. Yeah. I think. Yeah, this is rough here for
Sammy Nash. Looking at Oblivion, keep the stuff dull frozen. Damage 3. Does he hit the X's? He doesn't. It's another twin.
Alcid coming in.
It's another Zidane. Oh, these 2 drops are just going away.
So the search trigger's useless here because Laswell still immediately makes you discard it.
Yeah. You just don't take the search. You're doomed. Like, oh, this is just absolute brutality.
Yes, that was right. You meant Jack Taylor, not me, right?
Sure. I have a gun to my head. I definitely meant Jack Taylor.
So what can Sammy do here? He's on damage 5, so he can only take 2 swings.
And like nothing. He can do absolutely nothing. He's got a backup and something.
LB is only really going to remove Laswell because everything's too high. Because I think the only thing he'll really be able to play is...
I think the best move here...
So he passes and gains a counter on Porum, so that can kill something.
Yeah, it's not enough though.
Problem is, what do you hit? It has to be the Rufus, right? Just to prevent a dull freeze.
Yeah. It's just not enough.
Unless there's removal in his hand, there's 4 attackers into 1 blocker with only 2 damage needed.
So, Taylor, stop calling for Leo to swing.
Would have been a point of damage.
Alright, so we've killed the Rufus with the Porum. We're going
to Dole's on swing.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. You need a hit. I don't know what EX you could even hit here that helps.
4-colour deck? I don't think there's any.
No, and it's a Galuf.
And calls the game there.
Oh, Sammy getting absolutely rinsed by Dan Harbon.
That was an interesting take on 4-colour. There's a lot of cards you don't typically see playing.
It seems old. Like Galuf, I'm not sure is good enough anymore. Personally, but
I think it can stall some aggro decks. The problem is all the aggro decks at the moment have Dull and Freeze in them. And with what's the LB card called now that doles something on entry?
Oh, the Surges.
With Surges existing, it makes all of those cards that are really good as being a blocker not quite as good anymore as long as you can play it.
Yeah. But again, though, it wouldn't be an obligatory Sammy Nash match if we didn't
Never
have
does
something
well on stream. Never does well on stream.
He always does better off stream, he says. But guys, we'll do a quick be right back. We will get the big sexy man himself, Dan Harbon, over here. Let's have a chat. So we'll be back shortly. And winner of round 2, there he is. Look at that visage. It's like it's like a Da Vinci painting. Like, it's just beautiful. But Dan, absolutely dominating win there.
I felt bad for Sammy. He had a rough backup start that I got to really capitalise on.
I mean, no one ever really feels too bad for Sammy, but he's playing full colour. He always plays full colour. It's his own fault.
He's playing on stream, so he knows what to expect.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think the biggest play for us, the Demon.
Yes.
Were you just laughing, basically?
It came down, and I saw my hand was just full of freeze and dull freeze, and it was like, oh man, like any other time this would have been the nuts, but he's not standing back up.
We had it pointed out that he could have played Shantoto instead of the Demon on the same turn, which is just another backup for him, the same removal.
Absolutely.
I mean, as well, obviously you had the Fissalist pretty early as well. Like, was there a reason you didn't play that beforehand? Because again, if that could have got on the attack that little bit quicker? Or?
I think because I knew that because Sammy was low on backups and I was naturally applying pressure anyway, I knew at some point he was going to have to overpay for what was in his hand, which would leave him with an empty hand, which meant I could get max value. And in that time, I didn't feel the need to put more pressure on because he was already under enough pressure.
So close to watching a man break live on stream.
Oh, I looked up at him, man. I was like, do you want to just go again? Like,
we got to like damage 5, and we were like, what can he do? Is there anything? I was like, handshake seems about right.
Yeah.
You know.
To be fair, I did say to him though, you're probably like 2 EX bursts off just pulling it back and hitting the nuts.
Yeah, Taylor was calling for Leviathan, but I was like, even Leviathan's not enough right at the end because you had 4 attackers, right? So
it was just.
Why are you rooting against me, Taylor?
Yeah, it's just what you were playing and what even the deck had access to just applied so much pressure.
Yeah.
You still had to say Randalls and remedies to go if needed.
Absolutely.
Like that. It's just.
And I think that Ice Lightning will always be the natural predator of 4-color decks, so I think it was quite a rough matchup as well.
Yeah, it's that deck of kind of everything you put on the field has to be answered. There's very few cards you play that aren't immediately going, I have to get rid of this in a turn.
Absolutely.
It's like Laswell, if you start making them discard, Rufus is a horrible one.
Once Sammy was like, yeah, you got Rufus and Laswell, I don't know which one I want to kill because I want to kill both of them. It's tough.
Yeah, because you were looking at that when you had the Sephiroth and people were like, not sure if you should just take the discard. And it was like, but then if you play Rufus that turn as well, discarding 2 every turn just means I think you probably win from the get-go then because Sammy's playing with 2 in hand, potentially 3 at the most.
Yeah.
So what's new in the deck for this set then? Is there anything particular that sort of stands out for you?
I'm going to be honest with you. I built the deck in a bit of a rush a week ago and haven't checked it over since. I don't think
there
anything.
are any new cards. No, you running the new Sephiroth in there, even just a one-off?
No. I'm stuck with old school Sephiroth. I've always got this theory: if I don't know what to play, I return to the old school classics, and Ice Lightning is like my bread and butter. So, if you're stuck on what to do, play a game that's got 50-50 against most things.
So is there anything particular that you're worried about coming up against, or is it, as you say, is it just a 50-50 coin flip?
I just worry about coming up against opponents. They always do well, and
make the games harder.
Yeah, sorry to tell you this, mate. It's kind of like a 2-player game. And
should play Mono Wind if I want to play the 1-player game.
You could buy multiple tickets for an event and just sit across from these.
Wouldn't have to play against anyone. That'd be good.
You guarantee win.
I mean, if you want to do that, you go nuts. But I ain't gonna commentate.
Depends if you got that much money.
Yeah, I think my biggest worry is like the hyper aggressive decks like Mono Red or even just a straight ice discard decks. I feel like they don't want to go to the mid range like me. They're happy to put pressure on early, whereas while this deck can put pressure on early, it doesn't deal well with other decks doing it back to it.
Well, again, a big congratulations on your round 2 victory. Best of luck in the next rounds.
Thank you very much, Hanson.
Good luck with your next games.
We are going to take a short 10-minute break, guys, because that's what's left on the round. So we will be back with you with round 3.